Mujtaba's Iran is accused of expanding its retaliation after reports of a fire at a US-linked business headquarters in Bahrain. Iran's campaign reportedly takes a new turn as a US-linked commercial office in Bahrain is said to catch fire. Tasnim reports a blaze at a US-linked business site in Bahrain amid Iran's expanding retaliatory campaign. Bahrain emerges as a new flashpoint as the US-Iran conflict spreads across the Gulf region. New reports suggest Iran may be widening its target list beyond military installations and strategic facilities. Iran says its army launched a fresh wave of drone strikes targeting US military bases in Kuwait. Tehran claims US missile systems, bunkers, and military support facilities were targeted in the latest operation. Iran says its drones struck American defensive positions, describing the attack as a major battlefield success. IRGC said, and I quote, "The ground-to-ground missile base of the American child-killing army in Kuwait was destroyed by the fighters of the IRGC ground force. We call upon the noble nation of Iran. In the fourth stage of the retaliatory operation, the fighters of the IRGC's ground forces targeted the ground-to-ground missile base of the American child-killing army in Kuwait and set fire to 2 HIMARS missile platforms and the slums full of missiles and completely destroyed them." Unquote. The IRGC says it will continue launching drone attacks against American military bases across the region, according to Tasnim. IRGC statement said, and I quote, "In response to the repetition of illegal US attacks against our country, a few hours ago and in the new round of drone attacks by the Islamic Republic of Iran Army, the location of American forces, defense and missile systems, bunkers and support sheds of the American terrorist army in Kuwait were targeted by the Army's destructive drone attacks." Unquote. Meanwhile, US Central Command says its latest round of strikes hit dozens of Iranian military targets across multiple locations. US Central Command said, and I quote, "US Central Command, CENTCOM, completed a new wave of offensive strikes against Iran, July 12, hitting dozens of targets at multiple locations with precision munitions to degrade Iran's ability to continue attacking international shipping flowing through the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM forces struck Iranian military air defense systems, coastal radar sites, missile and drone capabilities, and small boats using US fighter aircraft, naval vessels, one-way attack aerial drones, and one-way attack sea drones for the first time. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital maritime corridor for global trade. Iran does not control it. US forces are postured and prepared to ensure that freedom of navigation remains available to commercial shipping despite Iran's continued unwarranted aggression, harassment, threats, and arbitrary declarations." Unquote. Not just Kuwait and Bahrain, Mujtaba is now unleashing missile fury on Jordan as Iran widens its strikes on US bases in the region. Iran says it has struck US positions in Jordan, claiming Muwafaq Salti Air Base was among the key targets hit. A US base hosting F-15s and F-35s has reportedly come under Iranian ballistic missile fire in the latest round of escalation. Fuel tanks and an ammunition dump at Jordan's Prince Hassan Air Base were reportedly set ablaze in Iran's retaliatory barrage. The IRGC claims a critical FPS strategic radar system at Ahmed al-Jabba base has been knocked out of action. Iran says its missiles have struck a Patriot air defense battery at the US base in Ali Salem, Kuwait. The IRGC boasts that a US drone command center was crushed in its strike on American facilities in Bahrain. Iran claims it has hit a helicopter maintenance hub and a P-8 hangar in Bahrain, escalating its message to Washington. IRGC statement said, and I quote, "Heroic nation of Iran, your steadfast steps, 135 days and nights of presence on the stage, an unprecedented funeral in history, which you and the noble nation of Iraq have made, have surprised the world, encouraged the fighters of Islam, and confused and terrified the great Satan, and he is taking every measure to compensate for this great defeat. Last night, following the operations of the IRGC Navy in stopping 2 offending ships, which had endangered shipping in the Strait of Hormuz by turning off their systems and moving on an illegal route, the US child-killing army, which was the driver of these illegal and dangerous movements, once again revealed its brutality by invading the coastal bases of the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Zealous fighters of Islam, in the first stage of response to these aggressions, set fire to several large rocket warehouses and fuel tanks of Prince Hassan Air Base in Jordan with rockets and drones. The evil and war-loving regime of America, which has spent a few times without war and military evil since its establishment, and has not learned from the recent failures in facing the fighters of Islam, and continues its aggression. In response to these evils, in the second stage of their countermeasures, the IRGC's aerospace fighters smashed the important helicopter maintenance and repair centers, the hangar of the P-8 electronic warfare aircraft, and the command and control center of the American child-killing army drones at the American base in Sheikh Isa, Bahrain. We bring to the attention of the honorable people of Iran, the proud fighters of the IRGC Aerospace Force, in the third stage of the retaliatory operation and response to the aggression of the arrogant and aggressive American regime, completely destroyed the fuel tanks and the Patriot air defense system at the American base in Ali Salem, Kuwait, as well as an FPS strategic radar system at the Ahmed Al-Jaber base. Strait of Hormuz is our land, and we will not allow a rebel and child-killing army from the other side of the world to continue its illegal interference in it." Unquote. The IRGC is vowing that its retaliation will continue, warning of more attacks to answer what it calls U.S. aggression. Iran launches a new wave of missiles and drones targeting U.S. military positions across the Middle East, according to Iranian state-linked media. State-linked Iranian outlets report massive retaliatory strikes against U.S. military bases following the latest American attacks. Tehran claims U.S. military bases and naval assets across the region are now under coordinated Iranian attack. Explosions are reported near a U.S. military base in Bahrain, with the Interior Ministry confirming security incidents. Reports claim direct impacts near the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain during the latest Iranian operation. Ballistic missiles were reportedly launched from western and central Iran as part of the new wave of attacks. Bahrain activates air raid sirens shortly after Iran launches its latest missile and drone barrage. The Gulf braces for another dangerous escalation as the U.S. Iran military confrontation continues to intensify. The latest Iranian operation comes after Washington expanded its military strikes across multiple locations inside Iran. U.S. forces expand their military campaign as fresh strikes reportedly hit targets across southern and western Iran. A new wave of attacks is reported across more than a dozen Iranian cities, according to local media reports. Qeshm, Bandar Abbas, Bushehr, Avaz, and Abadan are among the locations reportedly targeted in the latest strikes. Iran International said, and I quote, Escalation News Telegram channel reported that the latest wave of attacks targeted a wider range of locations across southern and western Iran than previous strikes. According to the report, the targeted areas include Qeshm, Sirik, Bandar Abbas, Jask, Bushehr, Kondab, Bandar Mahahar, Baybahan, Andameshk, Desful, Avaz, Abadan and Khorramshahr. The report could not be independently verified, and neither US nor Iranian authorities have immediately confirmed the full scope of the reported attacks. Unquote. After Iran's retaliatory attacks, the US rejects reports claiming American troops were killed in Kuwait. The latest US strikes appear significantly broader in scope than previous waves of attacks, according to emerging reports. A direct US-Iran military confrontation continues to unfold around the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM says the strikes are intended to degrade Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. US Central Command said, and I quote, "At 5 p.m. ET today, US Central Command forces began launching more strikes against Iran to continue degrading their ability to attack civilian mariners and commercial ships freely transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The Commander-in-Chief has directed the strikes to hold Iranian forces accountable." Unquote. CNN reports Iran launched missiles and drones following attacks linked to global shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. warplanes reportedly intercepted an Iranian cruise missile and shot down an attack drone during the latest escalation.